All right, this is SFBarkast. I am Jeff Cleary.
I am Andrew Louder.
And Andrew, where are we today?
We are at Grasslands on what is it, corner of Kearney and Jackson. Around there somewhere.
Is this a new bar?
You know what? It's not. I mean, the Grasslands has been here for a while, but before 2011, it was a much different place.
Yes, this is like one of those bars where like I didn't recognize it when I walked in here because it's all nice.
Yeah, there's not garbage everywhere.
And so I think what we're getting at is before the redo or the redesign, this place was kind of a
fumigation or whatever it took. Like
it's kind of a dumpster fire.
Yeah, completely. Like, yeah, this. I remember we came here during a friend of ours who will remain unnamed to protect his
Jim
innocence.
Gallagher.
Excuse me. We'll call him Jimmy G. Protect his identity. Anyway, like during his bachelor party, we wound up going to the Grasslands. I think at some point.
I think we started here.
Probably, yeah. Like,
yeah.
But I mean, it was the kind of place where just like there was just everything in the world stapled to the wall. The further you got into the place, the more you're like, I'm gonna stick by the door so that I'm, in case I have to fight my way out of here.
I mean, it's a small place too, and you still wanted to be near the door in case something went down.
Yeah, exactly. Like yeah, and definitely like I was reading a little bit of history about it, and like they used to have a sign out front that said like where good friends and girls meet, and like so everybody thought that it was like this underground like whorehouse, and like and some people said that it might have been like that there would be like sort of girls hanging out in the back that sort of disappeared upstairs and stuff like that. But,
or as I like to call it, the good old days.
Yeah, exactly. Or as I like to call it, something I never heard of before. That's for sure.
Yeah, I remember that night because we were here and one of our friends so where are we? We're on Kearney
and Jackson. So it's like right on the outer edge of Chinatown, North Beach border.
North Beach, right. Yeah, it's like right in that like sort of neutral zone between North Beach and Chinatown. That night we were here, one of our friends like disappeared in Chinatown and then came back and was like, "Hey, I found a place to go." And I think
always a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly. But like,
let's follow the guy that disappeared and like has fresh scars on his face or whatever.
So he brought us to a place in Chinatown. I believe it was called Amore or Amore.
It's around the corner and still exists.
Yeah, and it's.
I've never heard of it before. Never go on.
It's like one of these bars where you walk down this very dark stairwell.
Yeah.
And then you go in, and the whole place is red. It looks like it might as well be like a David Lynch scene going on. And there's a bunch of young Asian girls who come over to you immediately and say, "Hey, you want to buy me a drink?"
Well, wasn't there like sort of like Hong Kong like karaoke or something like that going on as well? So you've got these like weird sort of like almost gangster looking guys like just having fun like singing karaoke, and then like just swarms of girls come over to you and just are basically like trying to rob you.
Yeah. We spent 2 days there. And,
yeah, exactly. I said, this is terrible. We're all going to die. I'm giving you all 4 hours to wrap this up.
Yeah, I feel like that there are parts of Chinatown that I still have not discovered, even though I've lived in the city for over 20 years.
I'm sure that the police can say the same. Like, there's probably like tunnels and like buildings and stuff that exist that no one knows about.
I have no idea why there isn't a tour of the tunnels under like North Beach and Chinatown.
Probably because like there's still people living in them, or
Yeah, well, I mean that's true.
That's where the bankers are controlling the world from. I mean, for starters.
Yeah. So this was it called something different before the remodel?
No, I think it was
still called Grasslands.
It was still called Grasslands. Yeah, actually, the only other like incarnation that I saw like snooping around the web. Was that in the 40s and 50s it was a Filipino gay bar called Bianco's or Blancos maybe.
Blancos?
I think it was Blancos, but very specific, especially for the 40s and 50s. That's crazy that like there would be a you don't want the Pacific Islander gay bar, you want the Filipino gay bar Blancos down the street.
Yeah, well, just like looking around the bar, it's like it is like really kind of shinied up.
Oh yeah. I mean, like they definitely gave it the. I mean, it's not terribly unique, I guess, but like certainly in this day and age. But
this is like one of those things where it's like, Nato Green does a joke about how he likes a little bit of gentrification.
Yeah.
Like not a whole lot that he gets evicted, but enough where he can get like nice pastries and things can be clean.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm sure there's some old guard who used to come here and walk in and be like, "Oh, they totally fucked this place up. It used to have dirt and shit everywhere."
Yeah, exactly. What they did, they moved my pile of shit.
So now it's like nice and clean. You can bring human beings here.
Yeah, I think they used to have like all kinds of like those sort of like underground like lottery games going, and like so it was just like it was a real great sort of old school like take your life in your hands kind of place.
Speaking of lottery and games, I'm beginning to reevaluate my love of gambling.
Is it just because of like DraftKings and their sleaziness, or like?
No, I don't play DraftKings.
Yeah, good.
Like I'm a degenerate gambler, but
Right.
like that, those people are scumbags.
Those people are just dumb, actually. Did you see like John Oliver like sort of take it apart last week? Like,
Oh yeah.
Like that was pretty great because it's of course it's what we've been saying for weeks, but
Yeah, he's finally
welcome
jumping
to the party.
on. Yeah, he's jumping on the SFBarkast bandwagon.
Yeah, exactly.
There's still a seat for you, Colbert.
I'm really pissed that he didn't at least cite us.
But yeah, I went to Tahoe for one night with my sister and my brother-in-law, and so we had like one night to be there,
Right.
and so all these basketball games there, and that's the thing. I'm like, oh, basketball, that's my wheelhouse. I can do this. I think I laid 6 bets and lost all of them.
Oh my god. Like,
Yep.
Like in like individual bets or like parlay bets.
Some of them were individual bets,
Yeah.
and I swear I stab at the heart of the Cleveland Cavaliers for not being able to cover the spread at home.
Well, we'll have to revisit. Like we'll talk sports. Like in the second segment.
But we're talking gambling right now.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
So,
Sorry.
but here's the thing: it always seems to play out. This is the narrative of gambling that always happens. Earlier in the season, when I was like gambling on football, I had one weekend where I was 5 for 5 and winning 5 bets.
Right.
It's like you win a lot of money, and I'm like, yeah, walking around like gambling is easy. Yeah,
Right. It's like,
I don't even.
I'm gonna do this for a living. I'm gonna buy a house here. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be covered in gold and have a rocket car.
Yeah, and then like I've just been doing nothing but eating dicks at the sports book. God, so maybe gambling's not as fun as I thought it was.
Yeah. Like
Also-
I love. I mean, like that the whole like DraftKings and FanDuel and stuff like that. Like that really does like crack me up because they are. I mean, they are so easily sort of exposed for like like essentially lying. Like depending on who they're talking to, they're like, oh, it's a game of skill, and then like all their ads
skill.
are like, yeah, like you could win $1 million doing nothing. It's
Like-
like wait, that's gambling.
The people they have on their ads, like the testimonial ad, I think it's
Right,
like
it's always some fucking
it's either-
chowderhead or like
it's either some dude who's like, he's like, yeah, I get to beat my friends every week. It's like let me
so popular.
let me clue you in. You have no friends. You have people who tolerate you because you're an asshole, or that it's either that personality or some dude who looks like he's a head injury survivor. He's like,
Right.
I want money on FanDuel.
I punch keys on computer, win money.
Like, god damn. Yeah, my heart goes out. I mean, like, if you're gonna do that, the great thing on the John Oliver thing is they did a mock
Yeah.
ad, and
Oh right, yeah,
and like Seth Rogen, like it was Seth Rogen and this other girl was supposed to be his wife.
right.
And
that wasn't Paget, was it?
no, it wasn't Paget.
Oh, okay, all right.
But the thing
Oh
is,
no,
like,
I know who it was. It was Catherine Hahn. Never mind.
okay.
Go ahead.
But like,
We'll edit that out.
if you're gonna be like a degenerate gambler, and like that's one thing, but like don't sort of involve your family. Like I feel like it's okay for me to like lose some money because it's not like baby doesn't get shoes.
Right.
But like if
it's
you're
really only a problem when it starts to affect other people. I mean, like,
Right.
It's like, I mean, I guess you could argue it's a problem before that, but
I mean,
but
no,
that's
yeah, no,
ridiculous.
but if you want to circle the drain all alone, fine, circle the drain all alone.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I guess the problem is that like those people will eventually sort of reach the bottom, and then it's like everyone's problem, or else they just like hopefully die quickly, or starve to death or whatever. But
The best thing in that whole bit was the girl who's playing Seth Rogen's wife says like, "Yeah, I need a divorce." And she's like, "Wait a minute, is there something stronger than a divorce we can get?
like not that we can afford.
like a super divorce?" Yeah. No.
Christ.
Do you want to say a couple things now that we're through joking about stuff? Do you want to talk about Paris?
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, just and it's funny that like it seems like the late summer, always is sort of like this lull of tragedy with it sort of convinces you that things are going to be okay, and then right around the holidays, everything starts to go to shit as usual. Merry Christmas, everybody.
It's funny. I was a little upset because there have been these protests about the show Homeland.
Yeah.
From people who are saying, yeah, well, it just portrays all Islamic people as like terrorists. And I totally disagree, because if you're watching Homeland and you're just glossing over all of the sensible Islamic characters who are trying to stop...
Right, that's on you, right? Pretty much like...
Yeah, I mean, it's like... basically, the protesters are saying you can't have any like Islamic militant people in your TV show.
Right.
Because it's like, that's like saying, okay, I'm Irish, and I don't want... nobody's allowed to show an Irish drunk.
Right. Exactly. Not all Irish people are drunk, so from now on, no drunk Irish people.
Exactly. No, I don't want to see an Irish guy beating his kids.
Everyone on television has to be ideal.
So I was trying to kind of see their side of it, and I was like, yeah, because I know Homeland's a show about thwarting terrorist plots.
Right.
And I was thinking, yeah, it does seem a little dated because we haven't had a big terrorist attack in a while.
Right.
And then guess what? I think
you're saying that the producers of Homeland are behind this whole thing.
I think it's okay to watch Homeland again.
Well, if you watch Homeland, the terrorists win or lose. I'm not sure.
Man, how would you feel if you were like the Eagles of death metal?
I know, what a weird fucking situation for them to be.
Yeah, for the rest of their lives, they're like, yeah, that was our show.
I mean, I guess the only other band I can think of that's worse off is who's the one that got stabbed on stage, like the guy from Slayer or whatever.
Dimebag Darrell.
Yeah. Like that was probably or no, I mean actually that probably wasn't as horrifying. I take all that back. But but it was still probably on par to some degree. But everything I've heard about what happened at that show sounds bananas and terrible. So.
How about this? What if it wasn't the Eagles of death metal playing? What if it was Gwar? Do you think they still would have gone through with the attack?
Well, that's the crazy thing was that a lot of people, I guess, thought that it was it was part of the show.
They probably thought that for half a second.
Yeah.
But it's if you're okay, we're gonna shoot up this theater, and then you go in there and there's these space aliens on stage. You're like, maybe we'll wait till tomorrow. He's already spitting blood and cum at everybody.
Well, that was the thing that was almost the most troubling about it, was that they couldn't go after the big pop culture. They had to go after something that's actually kind of cool. Why I'm sure there were obviously I guess they went after the soccer game, so that was probably the biggest event going on. But I'm sure U2 or somebody else was in town as well, or that
what if they
might have been a bigger draw.
What if they thought it was going to be the Eagles, and they just fucked up okay, and they're in there and the main dudes who is this? They haven't played Hotel California yet. It's oh, this is the Eagles of death metal. It's hey. We were supposed to shoot up the Eagles. He's like, hey, Eagles are Eagles, right? Look, you know nothing about music.
Well, that was one of my first thoughts when I heard about it was that I wonder so did the Eagles of death metal sort of regret the name? Did their name possibly enter into it, but they just didn't know that their name was ironic? It's
oh yeah,
where they're just death metal, let's they're obviously anti-religion or something, and it's
I think that's reading too far into it.
Probably.
I remember after 9/11, the what do you call it, the Lord of the Rings movie had just come out after 9/11.
Oh yeah,
and everybody knew that the second film was called the Two Towers.
Oh yeah.
And there was a lot of discussion over whether they should change the name of the second movie because the Twin Towers fell, and I was like, yeah, aren't we taking?
So we can't use the words two or towers anymore.
Aren't we taking this too far? It's yes, this is a terrible tragedy. What does the wizard think?
Well, it's nice to see that the states of Louisiana and Texas have decided to use this opportunity to close their borders to Syrian refugees, like, for whatever fucking terrible reason.
Fuck
like,
those people. You know what?
Like, to be cowards, basically.
The Syrian, if I can speak to the Syrian refugees who are probably like floating on a
You
hub.
don't want to go to Texas.
Yeah. You know what? You're better off floating on that hubcap than going to Texas or Louisiana.
That's right. Whatever, the bottom of the sea is probably a slightly better place to live than Abilene.
Yeah, much more compassionate. That's for sure.
It's like, could be worse. You could be in Waco or Galveston.
Let me just like parallel like what has happening there, and like you see like people in Germany when like some of the refugees go there, like the German people will come out and applaud them and give them like food and give them places to live and like really like open up,
like
and
be
help.
Compassionate human beings.
Right, exactly. Not
and like Hungary is like, put them all in like a fucking train station and lock the doors until we can figure out what to do.
So, I don't know. Learn something from Germany, Texas.
Wow, never thought I'd hear that.
I say that all the time. You know the one thing, it's weird. It's like the Paris attacks happened, and it just blows my mind. Like maybe people didn't know about it or something, but it was like hours after it happened. It should have been all over the internet, all over. And looking at my Facebook timeline, not my timeline, but like it's like people are still posting stupid shit in there. It's like, yeah, look at this kitten video. It's like, I'm like, or someone's like, oh yeah, this celebrity's got amazing, outrageous abs. I'm like, yeah, like, are you tone deaf? You gotta,
it's sort of like it reminds you how much of like the internet is on autopilot at this point, where it's like somebody just didn't turn off the make sure and tell this guy about like tits every 5 minutes or whatever, whatever like email alert you've got.
Yeah, it's like I know maybe you're scared and you just want to get on with stuff, but hey, you know what? At least take some time away to do nothing.
Right. Well, I think it was I can't remember the name of the band. Like it might have been the Deftones or something. Like I found like because they were set to play that same venue the next night, and so they had just tweeted like, "So glad to be flying into Paris. Can't wait to like go to such and such concert venue." It's like, oops.
Wow.
No, well.
Well,
win some, you lose some, I guess.
I remember when James Brown died. He was scheduled to do
Was he shot by terrorists?
No.
Shot by police.
He was shot by. I don't like the story of James Brown dying. Like, I still don't know exactly how this works, but apparently he went to his dentist, and his dentist looked at his mouth and said, "Oh my God, you have to go to the hospital right now." And apparently dentists can tell something about your general health by looking into your mouth, and he died like a few days later.
Huh.
But anyway, he was supposed to play.
Maybe he was like, he looked into his mouth and there was just like nothing there. It was just hollow.
He's like, oh, you're already dead on the inside. So, but James Brown was supposed to play Bimbos, and he died, and it was like this total outcry. And then somebody realized, like, it was like 4 or 5 days after that Bimbos on their website still had James Brown coming to the thing.
Like, no refunds. Wheel his corpse on out.
Somebody, like, is there a webmaster around here who could just take that down?
Sorry, they got Tupac to appear at.
But I wonder if there's like somebody who's just totally clueless and hadn't heard that James Brown had died and bought a ticket to see James Brown after he died. No.
Want to take a break?
Sure. Yeah. Let's take a break, and then we'll come back from Grasslands. All right, and we are back at Grasslands.
Grasslands.
What do you think that's a reference to?
I think that I in my sparse research, I saw that it was like a rough translation of whatever the Chinese writing was like on the old bar.
All right, that checks out.
Yeah, it's not as exciting as you might think.
I was thinking there's a gay bar in the Castor called Badlands.
Okay.
Not exactly the same.
No.
There's less.
Maybe like a marijuana dispensary next to the Badlands.
Yeah, this is very much unlike that bar in the Castro. There's far less like fog machines and lasers.
It wouldn't have surprised me in the old incarnation if there were fog machines and lasers, but it would be like like some sort of like physical attack you were under.
I actually went through this phase where I bought a smog machine, like a fog machine, yeah, and had it in my bedroom.
It's like the idea of a smog machine instead, like one that's just
exactly.
like car exhausts. Like,
I miss LA so much.
You're just like spraying hairspray into the air with your exhaust machine.
You want to talk some sports here?
Sure.
Let me start out by I went to a party for the SF Bike Coalition on Sunday night.
Okay.
And guess what was there?
Damon Murray.
The Larry O'Brien Trophy.
Oh, wow.
That we mentioned last week.
Yeah, the one that some guy fucked.
Yeah, and I took a photo, and you get a photo of yourself with the Larry O'Brien Trophy, and I wrote, "This is the Larry O'Brien Trophy," and I did not have sex with it.
Yeah, you should have like leaned in and like smelled it and been like, "I can still smell her on it."
Well, it's like last week we were talking about how there was like some story in Hot magazine, Hot Living, yeah, like
Hot
Living, where the owner of the Warriors, Lacob, he joked about how when they won,
one of the minority owners, right? Like that.
No, he's the majority owner.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Oh shit. So I guess he does get to fuck the trophy.
Well, he said that like he was going to sleep with the trophy in his bed, and he was looking forward to him and his fiancée in bed with the trophy, and like it's kind of like he pointed at you and winked.
Right. Like everyone, like I'm sure everyone was immediately like not on board. Like they were just like, "What? What's our reaction supposed to be?" Like, yeah, cool.
I feel bad for Haute Living because, like, Haute is a very, it's a very what do you call it, like upper crust sort of word. It's like a fancy word. Like it's like, yeah, we're going to interview the owner of the Warriors about winning the trophy in this very classy magazine. And he's like, yeah, I fucked the trophy. Thanks, dude.
Hey, now everyone's heard of your magazine.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Maybe if you want, I could do a centerfold with the trophy.
Yeah, maybe the whole thing's like a big setup. Like the owner's like, "Hey, you guys want to like get your rinky-dink magazine off the ground? How about if I say I fucked the trophy?"
And when you went there to get your picture taken, first off, there was no line. I don't know.
Really?
Maybe people who ride bikes don't like basketball.
It's like a jaded sort of crowd, like commercialism.
Oh yeah, trophy. That's cool. But when you get there and you hand the girl your camera and she says to you, "Hey, the only rule is you can't touch the trophy." I'm like, that fucking thing? I'm not touching it. I'll have to wear a condom just to stand next to it.
That's right. Jesus.
Or maybe they were saying, "Hey, we don't want you to touch the trophy because you could break it or something like that."
Right.
Or maybe they were like, for public health reasons,
exactly.
we don't want you to touch the trophy. It's got all these it's got syphilis and NutraSweet on it.
Like hepatitis E.
So what else is going on in the sports world?
Well, I'll just quickly bury the Seattle Seahawks because they're having a really awful season, and you know what? Like they're not a likable enough team to really get behind when they're struggling because a lot of them have sort of acted like dicks. The coach is kind of a dick, and I don't know if they just really have it in their head, like how the Super Bowl ended, or if they actually lost a lot. I think they lost a few players that like probably gave them some depth that they don't have anymore. But that's what you're supposed to do. Like you're supposed to retool and like keep it going, and like Russell Wilson's supposed to have grown a little bit more instead of regressing.
It's so weird about people have been saying this forever. Like, the team that loses the Super Bowl has a very tough time getting back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, historically.
Unless you're Jim Kelly.
Yeah, unless you're Jim Kelly.
Right. You just then you just get up and get beaten again like a dog every year.
Jeez. But yeah, like after the Super Bowl last year, I was like saying to you and Finn, our other Seattle Seahawk fan, I was saying like, you know what? That was kind of a heartbreaking loss for the Seahawks, but guess what? You guys are going to be fine because immediately after the Super Bowl, Seattle got installed as the odds-on favorites to win it all in Vegas the next year. And then they went out and they traded for Jimmy Graham.
Yeah.
And like people were like, this is a super team. And then they show up this year, and maybe there is something about a Super Bowl hangover, where
well, and I think that there's probably, I'm sure there's a big hunger that was there that like just isn't anymore because like they've been there twice and like
there's a letdown.
Regular season's like probably hard to get that pumped up for, and like like the Seattle crowd, like I mean like that's their whole deal is supposed to be like the team can't lose there, and like they've lost a lot there. So I blame the crowd as much as anybody.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, you know what? If you think you're the 12th man, then you have
exactly.
to.
If you're gonna
you
go
shoulder
around,
some
like,
of this
saying
blame.
that bullshit and the Legion of Boom and all that nonsense, then you fucking deserve it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about them. Like in the same way, like the wheels are falling off the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Like you see, Peyton Manning was benched
last
week. Which I've never seen. I don't think it probably ever happened in his life.
He, like they said he's got like a meniscus tear or something like
You know what? So the coach said that he probably shouldn't have played him, but he was like 4 yards away from like setting the all-time yardage record. Which, by the way,
he's like I would have pushed him out there on one leg.
Which, by the way, like breaking a numbers record in football, nobody gives a fuck about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, in baseball, everybody cares about numbers.
Right.
In football, nobody cares.
Like no one knows who has the longest field goal. Like now, it's like it's like three guys, and I think like Gary Kubiak's one of them.
You know what? Like, but here's the thing: like Kubiak's the coach of the Broncos.
Is he still?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So if he's openly admitting that Peyton was hurt. And he only put Peyton in the game so he could, like, break this bullshit record.
Right.
And Peyton got hurt more, and he embarrassed him. Like, he had 35 yards and, like, 4 interceptions by the time they took him out. Kubiak should be fired.
Oh, totally, yeah.
He should totally be fired. I mean, he's basically saying, our star quarterback was hurt, but I pushed him out there, and he hurt himself more.
I just want to break a record. I don't care.
Right, and it's just like, dude,
like if he died on the field, at least he got the record.
It's absurd that people are giving him a pass.
Right. Well, it's funny because I was gonna say that that this is like one of the worst like NFL seasons I can remember, but actually like I mean, like you must be loving it because like the Patriots are great. Like first of all, and like all of the teams that like hate them so much, Colts and Peyton Manning and the Ravens.
The Ravens.
Like that, all of them are just like going down in flames. So like it must be like kind of fun on just a laughing at the top of the skyscraper kind of way.
The whole sort of scorch and burn, torch and burn strategy the Pats have is great, except we're just incurring all these injuries. So at the beginning of the year, we lost I think like 2 offensive linemen.
Yeah.
So now like our defensive tackle, our offensive tackle, protecting the blind side, he's actually our starting center.
Oh, wow.
So they've been having to mix everything up.
And like bring back Vinny Hernandez at some point.
Who?
Bring back Vinny Hernandez at some point.
Aaron Hernandez.
Or Aaron. Wait, who's Vinny Hernandez?
Some Goomba.
Never mind.
And then like that, now they lost Julian Edelman.
For how long?
For I think till like the end of the year.
Till the end of the holiday season, he's got to do a lot of baking for his isn't Edelman like a bakery and that makes like Danishes?
I've said this before. Julian Edelman is the second Patriots receiver who has a Jewish name who isn't Jewish. It's like Irving Fryer established the beachhead on that. So they lost Edelman, so that means Danny Amendola has to step up. Right. But they also lost Dion Lewis, who was their running back. And I mean, now we still have LeGarrette Blount, but he's not. He's like a power back. We need somebody who's small who can like run out of the backfield and catch passes.
Like Vereen.
Like
Vereen last year, but I don't know. I think it's shit. I totally lost my train of thought.
If there's anything in the Patriots' favor, it's that we have to go to Denver and play.
Yeah.
And a Denver without Peyton Manning or
who's their backup anyway?
Brock Osweiler.
Good.
You know Brock Osweiler.
That's the thing about this season, especially. Like, there have been more quarterbacks playing games where I'm like, who the fuck is that guy? Where I saw him at Walmart last week. Like,
this is the year of the backup quarterback. Like, Breeze was down for a little while. Roethlisberger's out. Romo's out.
Like, I have to watch like Blake Bortles play against some like third stringer on Cleveland or like Johnny Football.
Yeah. When I was like texting Sean Keane, comedian Sean Keane.
Sean Keane. Not the nobody Sean Keane, the comedian Sean Keane.
Not that other loser, the comedian Sean Keane. About how bad Peyton Manning was playing, and I was like, I told him, I was like, oh my God, they just benched Peyton Manning. And he wrote back, he said, I just saw Blake Bortles do a Papa John commercial.
That's great. Actually, speaking of commercials, I was watching a Charlotte Hornets game, like on the local like Charlotte feed or whatever, and like every commercial had fucking Frank Kaminsky in it.
I love it.
And that guy's like a bench player, and like, but they can't wait because it's fucking Charlotte. They're like, he's our favorite player for some reason.
Frank the Tank.
Right.
Yeah,
but it's great. It's like I haven't seen like people this excited over a white guy since like Luke Longley.
I wonder if we could find out who sells the most jerseys on the Boston Celtics. Do you think it's either Olenek or David Lee? Like, I know there's not anybody walking around in an Evan Turner jersey.
They're like, I'll take the throwback bird. Never mind. Well, speaking of basketball, though, I mean, I guess we just have to further acknowledge. I mean, like, it sounds like every show now we just like talk about how great Steph Curry and the Warriors are, and like but it is really like for people that like maybe don't follow sports that much, like this is some transcendent shit going on. Like the level that he's playing at for a point
amazing.
Guard, especially like I think is like almost unheard of since like Magic or like going way back, like because he just like so much of what he does, it looks like if he wanted to, he could play a game like with his back to the basket and throw it over his shoulder, and he'd still make half of the shots.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, especially like coming out of college. People were like, "Well, he's too small. Who's he gonna guard?"
Yeah, and like where did he go in the draft? Like 7th or 8th or like?
Somewhere around there.
I mean, so there's like 6 guys that like went above him that like aren't going to like change the game like nearly as much.
Yeah, and I love the fact that they're playing small ball, and even now, I mean, it's early in the season, but you hear people, Charles Barkley, talk about like, are you really
going to work?
Are you really like? Their whole criticism is like, are you really going to play Draymond Green at the 5? Like, he's too small. And it's like, here's the thing.
Fucking doesn't matter at all.
The reason why people are very resistant to this like whole small ball thing is because it's never worked until last year.
Right.
Like, remember the
Steve Nash Suns.
The Suns,
yeah.
right. The Suns used to play the small ball, and they're like, we're just going to run. We're going to have like 4 guards in a power forward.
Well, it always wound up looking like a fucking prison break that would, and you'd wind up losing like 150 to 140. But like, but Curry's so good that it just like it sort of negates any like I don't know if it's like it's probably not a convincing case that small ball works because he's so transcendent that I think that like. The fact that that's what he plays means that he's, you're going to have the best version of that ever.
Even though it is like all leagues are a copycat league, and so people will look at what worked and like, oh, maybe we can do that.
Yeah.
Like if you're a team and you want to play small ball and you don't have Steph Curry, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was like a viral video or whatever like that, the other day. That was, I think it was titled like, "What happens when the whole team watches like Steph Curry highlights before the game?" And like this team like literally took like 20 shots in a row, and they were all like fadeaway 3-pointers, like and they were and they all had the same. I mean, like they looked like they were trying to be Steph Curry, and like everyone was a fucking brick, or an air ball.
Yeah, I have this theory about the Warriors, though, and this is once again one of the reasons why I'm glad I'm not in Vegas or Nevada. Is sometimes I watch their games and I'm like, fucking Luke Walton, who's the interim coach, that motherfucker is point shaving. He totally is. Like, he's keeping the game close. It's like a 17 or 18 point spread, and he's keeping it close, and then like, and then they don't cover, and then like Walton's like, because as soon as Steve Kerr comes back, Walton has to take sit on the bench again.
Yeah.
And like Walton's just like, I need some money, dude. my dad squandered all his millions on like dead bootlegs.
Like the last thing I'll say about Steph Curry is that I was trying to think of like who he reminds me of just as far as the way he handles the ball and how sort of automatic he is. And it's I think it's Pete Maravich, like, because like Pete Maravich had that sort of like homeschooled, like, I've never cared about anything besides basketball in my whole life sort of thing, and like, yeah, where the ball just sort of like sticks to your hand, like no matter what you do.
Pete Maravich, I believe, in his college career at LSU, I believe, we can look this up, he averaged 44 points a game, which is
that's ridiculous,
fucking insane.
Yeah, like and that's like without the 3-pointer.
Dude, that white
well, like
without the 3-pointer. That white
so those
boy,
were, I mean, like that was probably like more like 70 points a game.
And supposedly he had an undiagnosed heart condition. Like, he had a hole in his heart. He played his whole career, and then
gave him superpowers.
Oh, I wish I had a hole in my heart.
I could fucking dribble between my legs if I had a hole in my heart.
I was gonna say, like, not that this player is as good a shooter, clearly not. But like, as far as a ball handler, like the best ball handler I ever saw in my life was Kenny Anderson.
Yeah.
Like when he played at Georgia Tech, and even when he played for like the Nets, it was pretty amazing. Like it seemed like the ball was like stuck to his hand.
Yeah.
And like nobody could ever steal the ball from him.
Like I remember like the first maybe like year and a half or 2 years of White Chocolate Jason Williams.
Amazing.
Like, I mean, like before everybody sort of figured out how to shut him down, like he was just this crazy playground bullshit like player that like would just, like fake one way and then like bounce it off his elbow or something like that, like.
Those are always like great stories where it's like you got this dude, like whether it's Maravich or White Chocolate, where it's like these white guys coming out of like the swamp or like the coal mine, and they're like
dripping in seaweed. What is your game?
Exactly. It's like, yeah, like, and then they just take the basketball like incredibly.
Like they're the fucking water boy.
Do you have any other predictions for or anything?
The only other sports thing, like,
is there any other sports stuff? Oh, Ronda Rousey.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I don't really follow this sport enough to like, offer any legitimate like critique about it. Like from what I heard, like she basically entered a boxing match like with a boxer. Like, and if she had like got her to the ground, she probably would have won. But I think people were saying that like that maybe she was like almost like too cocky, where she's like, yeah, you know what? Like she wants to box, I'll fucking box. Like I can do that, and then she just got pummeled.
Yeah, exactly.
And her face got rearranged.
Yeah. For as pretty a girl as she was, at the end of the fight, she wasn't pretty anymore.
It's a kid presentable.
Right. Well, one of my new like annoyances or pet peeves are like people like Tim Marchman who does the Dead Cast for Deadspin.
Yeah.
And he's really into MMA. And
right.
Listening to him talk about MMA, it's like listening to some like jackass conservative person talk about baseball. Where it's like, oh yeah, like
you don't understand the history of it.
It's like, like he's like, if you just watch it because you want to see people hit each other and get bloody, that's fine. He's like, but if you're really into it, you're like thinking about what their strategies are and how they're getting their cardio, how they're working their cardio.
What?
And I'm just like, you know what? You can.
Oh, I bet that guy's really losing a lot of weight. Like, what an exciting sport.
You can perfume this pig as much as you want, but it's just still a bunch of people beating the shit out of each other.
Exactly. That's so funny. Like, oh yeah, like there's no way that like fucking Stoner of the Year, what's his name? Shit, I'm blanking on his name. Like the guy that announces MMA fights. That's a comedian.
Oh yeah. Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. Wait, Joe Rogan? No, wait. I'm thinking of Fred Rogan, the the sportscaster for Los Angeles.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Joe Rogan. You can't tell me that Stoner of the Year like Joe Rogan. Like analyzes that fight, like like as it's going on. He's like, yeah, fucking beat each other up. Like I love it.
I mean, I guess maybe I'm gonna concede that there may exist a margin of appreciation like that, because like sometimes when I watch basketball, especially with Euros, they're all telling me like how much they hate basketball because it's just like a fucking like a prison riot to them, like, which by the way is racist. But like I tell them, like, well, you know what? Because I watch a lot of basketball, I can read the defenses and I see what's going on, and I can see where they're trying to like move the ball into.
Right.
And so like it does exist that possibility that there's a higher appreciation. But I don't know. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
on some level,
these guys,
99% of the people that are tuning in are like, I hope like one of them, punches the other one until they bleed.
Exactly. I would love to see an analyst be like, what do you think her strategy is going to be? I think she's going to go with try to make her bleed out of the eyes strategy.
That's the thing is like, okay, so let's say, let's say he's right and that, and that the marksman is right and that there's all this strategy and like it's this mental game primarily. Well, then why don't you do it like in a virtual way where no one gets hurt? And like, because then, you would love it. You'd still get to see this virtual thing that's happening, like, where these people are trying to like work out all their strategy and stuff like that, but no one will actually be physically hurt. And guess who will watch that? Nobody.
Yeah. Well, what's his name? Mike Tyson had a great, quote where somebody was asking him about
I did not make that girl.
Somebody was asking him about, like, it was one of those early fights where he just destroyed someone.
Right.
And, like, after the fight, someone said to him, well, how are you going to counter the other person's strategy of doing X, Y, or Z? And Tyson just goes, everybody's got a strategy until they get punched in the face.
So great. Like just, you can imagine him saying it too, where it just like sends a chill down your spine, like, oh my god, like he's killed people before.
Dude, and like kind of like, okay, so this kind of relates to Ronda Rousey. Like Ronda Rousey was like, her big thing was that she's never been to the second round. She like beats
every
her
fight
opponent.
lasts like 30 seconds before she like removes their head from their body.
And you got to remember, like, Mike Tyson was like that. If you watch like, there's like a documentary about Tyson, and like before the Buster Douglas thing, man, like he just destroyed people.
Yeah, like
so
it was
much
like a suicide attempt to get in the ring with him.
So much so people like weren't like buying the fights because I'm not paying for like 90 seconds of a boxing match.
Paying to watch Buster Douglas like become paralyzed.
Yeah. And then like with Buster Douglas, supposedly Vegas wouldn't even take bets on it.
Wow.
Because the sports books were like, we're not losing this money. There's no odds we can give that would make other people bet on Buster Douglas. But because the fight was in Tokyo, the Tokyo casinos installed Douglas at 100-1 odds.
Wow.
So like even if you're like there and you're like, I'll put $10 down on this fat guy. And like,
I'll put 10 yen down, and they're like, 10 yen is like less than a cent. Damn it.
Yeah, well, it's like, you can make like $1,000 off of $10.
Right. That would be great.
All right, you want to take a break?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's take a break, and we'll come back, and we'll do a little bit more music, and then talk about the bar some more. All right, and we are back at Grasslands.
Grasslands.
You know what? This place is really great.
I mean, you know what? It should be
very comfortable.
With this name, it seems like it should be like a pot bar in the hate, but like but you know what? Like it's
which one of the co-hosts do you think has his pot card?
It's Jeff.
Somebody told me I should actually I don't smoke pot, but like someone told me I should actually just get a pot card because they're super easy to get. And it's good to have, like, in case whatever, like in case a cop finds some pot on you, and then you're just like, oh yeah, and I here's a card that says I'm afraid of heights.
Exactly.
Oh, that makes total sense since we're at sea level, you jackass.
I mean, the going rate I think is like $100 a year or something. So
what?
Like,
I'm not paying that.
So exactly. Yeah. So that would be the I don't know. Maybe there's cheaper doctors like Dr. Joe Gorman, MD, or something.
Jimmy Dore does a great joke where he said his brother-in-law said he would love to get like a pot card, but he's too afraid that he would get put on a list.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, a list of people who are allowed to smoke pot.
Speaking of France and pot and Joe Gorman,
wow!
Shout out to him for like right after the Paris attacks. Like No, everybody like changed their avatar to have like the French flag over it.
I can't do that
And
stuff.
like he changed it to himself like blasting a bunch of pot out of his nose or something like that, and like with the French flag over it. So way to support the French people.
Everybody shows their support in different ways.
Exactly.
So let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. Jesus, this is like how fights start.
Let me tell you something. You're doing all the talking over there. Right?
Listen.
Just like shut up and listen to what I have to say. Because our music segment last week was so successful, and we received so many letter about it.
What are you saying? Are you saying electronic mail or real mail? Because if somebody sent us a real piece of mail,
Carrier pigeon.
it was like carrier pigeon. It was a
We
smoke
got
signal.
some smoke signals. So we're gonna go. All right, you know what? I'm gonna skip to the second segment right now. Andrew, have you been listening to anything recently?
Oh gosh.
Any music?
Wait, you teased me with
I know,
with
but
that,
like because something's happening right now.
Oh no. Oh okay. Have I listened to anything new? I mean, like, there's a couple new bands that I've I don't know found semi recently. Do you want to take a break or something?
No.
All right. All right. We'll edit all this out. Let's see. Giorgio Moroder's got a new album out,
Yes, he does.
and it's not bad.
He is a very accomplished producer.
Yeah, he's fairly old as well. So I mean, like, he's sort of trying to give it like one last college try to cash in on the EDM scene or whatever. And so,
Okay, so here's the thing. Last week, I'm still a little mad at you for for when I said that I had downloaded some very embarrassing things, and then I was like, "What are you listening to that's embarrassing?" And you started spouting off like obscure, like Eastern European, like techno stuff, and I was like, "God damn it, Andrew! I just opened up to you. I told you I just downloaded Mike and the Mechanics." So I called an audible because like they're playing "All I Need Is a Miracle" right now on the jukebox. So I want to do a new segment that is called "You Never Listen, Do You?" Which is something that my mom used to say to mostly my two brothers and my sister, but never me. And I just want to point out that this is proof that nobody listens to like the lyrics of pop songs.
right.
So I'm going to do Mike and the Mechanics, All I Need Is a Miracle. Now, Let me just tell you, the gist of the song is that, here's a guy who feels like he made a mistake and, like, he let this girl, like, get away.
Okay.
And he's singing this song about, like, about this regret. And it's like, all I need is a miracle. And that miracle would be you coming back to me.
Right.
Okay. So, but here's how he sets it up. I said go if you want to go. Stay if you want to stay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care if you hung around me. I didn't care if you went away.
Well, wow, that's
So he's
sounds like kind of a dick.
kind of setting up himself as a dick.
Very distant, at least.
And here, the next two lines, I just want to like point
I'm
out.
just living my own life, lady. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to come and live with me, that's fine. If you want to like go hang out with your friends, that's cool.
And so the next two lines, I would still want to point out. Try to keep in mind, he's trying to get this person back. Okay.
Also, keep in mind, he looks like Paul Carrick.
Yeah. I think Mike Rutherford looks like he looks like he plays in Fish.
I'm pretty sure Mike Rutherford is a Muppet.
Okay, so the next line he says is, and he's saying, "Hey, and I know you were never right, and I'll admit I was never wrong."
What?
Right? It's like you're basically saying, "Hey,
You're an idiot.
He's
I'm
like,
smart.
"You're an idiot," and he's like, "I could never make up my mind. I made it up as we went along, and though I treated you like a child, I'm gonna miss you for the rest of my life." So he's basically saying, I was never wrong.
Right. I'm
You were never
emotionally
right.
distant.
I treated you like a little kid,
Right.
but I sure do miss you.
Like, boy, it would be nice if like God stepped in and like made you come back,
He says, I never had any
despite my
time.
awful personality.
He said, I never had any time and I never had any call, but I went out of my way just to hurt you, the one I shouldn't hurt at all.
Wow.
It's like, yeah, you know what? There's plenty of people that I should hurt,
Right.
but you're the one I shouldn't have hurt.
You know what those lyrics need? A mechanic.
He says, I thought I was
to
being
fix
cool.
them into something good.
He said, I thought I was being cool. I thought I was being strong. But it's always the same old story. You never know what you've got until it's gone.
He's like, God damn it, can we have the guitar solo yet?
What? I mean, like, basically, like, this guy
I'm
is
running
like the
out of
most
words.
unsympathetic person in the world. He's like,
Right.
he's like basically like, hey, it's like that Andy Kindler joke. It's like, wait, I treat you like shit and I'm the bad guy?
Exactly.
I treat you like a child. Like, I smacked you around and you're gonna leave me?
Hey God, how about a miracle? How about you bring back that girl that I like?
I can't catch a break.
How about you bring back that girl I kicked around and like couldn't stand when she was here?
Anyway, so like maybe they should play that at like domestic abuse rallies or something. All right. So now that you've indulged me on that fucking time kill.
That's great because after you played that at like a domestic abuse rally, you could play like the living years for like all of the like sort of like distant fathers that are like
I don't know that song.
That's like the other Mike and the Mechanic song. It's like something when you die. That's something. Anyway.
Well, the thing is, like, if that's true, like, like all of Mike Mechanic songs are just fucking disasters. But because they're pop songs, people are just like, yeah, like whatever. I'm not listening to the lyrics.
We're like, God, like these really need the tight, snappy lyrics of a Phil Collins.
I would like to go back in time and say to Nile Rodgers or one of those like super producers,
right.
Just do a song about like hating black people or something like that. I bet no one will listen to the lyrics. The people will just be like, oh yeah, that's got a catchy beat. All right, so here's the other thing that I wanted to show you. So the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we talked about it last week, and I am on record as saying I would rather get inducted into the men's room than the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because who's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Like Green Day and the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Indeed.
And I was listening to a podcast where they were explaining like all the rules, and I guess the rules are you can only get inducted if your first recording was 25 years ago. So I guess like Green Day must have just made it in, like 1990. Anyway, who cares?
Yeah. Anyway, who cares?
So here are the nominations for this year, and like actually, there's supposedly 800 people who vote on it, and then there's a fan vote. But I also learned that
the fan vote doesn't count for anything.
Yeah, the fan vote is like basically what they do with your fan vote is they go to the bathroom, they wipe their ass with it because like if 1 million people vote for like whatever one thing, they what do you call it? They aggregate that. They add all that up, and that's worth one vote, like one person's vote. So you have 800 people who are actual voters, and then you have 801, and that one is everybody in the world's like added up vote.
Right.
So
there's absolutely no way that the rest of the world could break a tie or anything because they only have one vote.
And everybody who's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they already have votes.
Right.
So yeah, basically,
like the Red Hot Chili Peppers are just like inviting all their friends.
Yeah. So basically, if 7 billion people on the planet vote for like this one band,
right,
that is worth the same vote as like Chad, the drummer from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which I'm sure he loves that whole metric.
Like you'll know like if the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is truly like fixed because of the Red Hot Chili Peppers being in it when like the Crazy Eights or like or something like that gets into like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay, so here are the nominations, and Andrew, you can just tell me if you would vote yes or no.
I'll tell you if I would even buy one of their albums.
Well, some of them were good.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start. This is going to go in alphabetical order. A little band from Boston called the Cars.
The Cars. Okay.
The Cars.
I guess I'm on board. Like, you know what? Like, I'm not sure if I am on board. Like, they were a good band. I know, yeah. What am I, John Kerry? I feel like they were a really decent pop band. I don't know. Like, I guess, okay.
It is
coming
weird
back around.
On the Gist podcast where they were talking about it, they were talking about some bands that have sold a lot of records, and then you're kind of like, well, what? Like, how does that like? does that play in? Because
Right,
one of the
right.
bands that is nominated this year is the Steve Miller Band, and Steve Miller, like, I mean, it's catchy. He sold a lot of records, but like,
Yeah.
when push comes to shove, his music sucks,
Yeah.
and like especially his lyrics, the fucking pompous of love.
No one ever called you the space cowboy. Knock it off.
You don't know a Maurice, all right? Just get the fuck out of here.
I love thinking of like that scene from like Dr. Katz where they're in the back and he's like, "Can you hear me back there?" And I was like, "There's no one back there."
back there.
And like I love thinking of the same sort of thing happening with Steve Miller being like, they call me the space cowboy, and his friends are like, "No one ever called him that. That's bullshit."
We had a band in my high school. It was like from people who were going to the high school, and they sold all their lead-ins to their songs so well. It's like the lead singer of the band. He was just like this scrawny, like pimply-faced dude with a big bass guitar on, and he goes, "Hey everyone, I don't know if you see what I see going across there, but it's that big old jet airliner."
Everyone's like looking behind him like, "There's nothing back there."
Like, there's nothing back there. We're in a gym. What are you doing?
You fool me once. Guy on stage.
Play the song before you get thrown in the fucking locker again. So, okay, now back to the nominees. The Cars.
Yes,
I'm gonna
okay.
go A-OK on the Cars. I like the Cars.
Yeah. Okay.
Chic.
Chic. Yes, definitely. Like
These are good times.
these are good times, and like not only like for Chic's contributions, but for Nile
Nile Rodgers, yeah.
like and, himself as well.
Nile Rodgers is amazing, and
Right.
yeah, when you think of like disco beats and pop music,
yeah.
Chic is absolutely, they're monumental.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Those are like-
and the sad thing is, Chic. This is the 10th year that Chic has been nominated,
That's a crime.
and I don't think it's like the Baseball Hall of Fame where after a while you get taken off the ballot. Like
Right.
Chic could be. They could be
And
like
meanwhile, like the Wallflowers got in on their first
no, I don't think they're it. She could be like the Susan Lucci of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
All right. The band Chicago.
Well, Chicago should be in. Like, I'm surprised they're not already.
I'm gonna say no.
No?
What the fuck? Saturday in the Park.
But they had like
I like that song too. But
28 albums or whatever. It's fucking bananas.
I like the 20. Oh, what's your favorite Chicago song? Mine is like 29 or 6 to 4.
That's a good song. I kind of like Beginnings. Like,
Do you take points off because of Peter Cetera's like abortion of a solo career?
I don't know. He was a sort of a great.
Great pop.
Well, but he was good with like movie themes and stuff like that. Like you want to hear him back up the Karate Kid.
That song is awful. Okay, so I'm gonna go. You're gonna go yes on Chicago. I'm gonna go no on Chicago.
Okay.
Next band, Cheap Trick.
Absolutely not.
I'm going yes.
Really? Okay.
I'm absolutely. I mean, first off because
She's tight.
she's tight. Mommy's all right. Daddy's all right. They just seem a little weird. The drummer always looked like an accountant with a cigarette in his mouth, like
Bunny
he didn't give a
Carlos.
fuck. Bunny Carlos.
Carlos, yeah. Like,
And the lead singer once played with a 5-neck guitar, which is great. Which is great because like there was this short time in like at least mostly in prog rock stations where it's like you won't believe it. Someone's got a 2-neck guitar. Ooh, Chris Squire's got a 3-neck fucking bass, and then like this guy, what's his name? Rick Nielsen? No,
maybe yeah. Like,
but he was like, yeah, okay, five necks. And if you want me to double down, I'll like stand on a stool and have 10 necks.
I have a guitar with 20 necks.
Okay, next band, Deep Purple.
Deep Purple. Like besides like
Smoke
on the water, right?
Yeah.
Like what did they do?
I don't know, no idea. You know what?
That.
And I'm talking out of my ass here because I don't really know much about Deep Purple, so I'm
Yeah.
going to say no.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. Right, sure. Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson. Sure, why not? Even though it's
mean,
probably
I like-
more. I mean, like
Yeah, I'm
like
like
it's really more R&B or pop. But
I like well, that's the thing. People like argue all the time about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where it's like, yeah, maybe it's a little, it's named wrong. It should be the, like Popular Music Hall of Fame,
Yeah, exactly,
like or something like that. I'm gonna say no on Janet Jackson, just because I don't know too much of her. I love some stuff on Control,
She's had a good 10 or 12 solid #1 hits.
and you know what? It was hard for her to step outside of her brother's shadow. I mean, I'm sure that her brother opened up a lot of doors for her, but maybe I'd let her in just because of that Good Times episode where she got the shit kicked out of her.
Indeed.
The JBs. I don't even know this band, so I'm going to say no.
You lose because of your obscurities, JB.
Okay, the next is Chaka Khan.
Chaka Khan, another sort of disco icon.
Yeah, 80s disco.
And then like sort of crossover as well with like so. It's a tough one. I'll say yes.
I'm going to let her in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she worked with a lot of people.
I feel
Steve
for her.
Winwood.
I think I love her.
Oh, okay, great. I understand. She was also in the Blues Brothers movie as a very young girl.
Oh yeah.
And the next band is Los Lobos.
Los Lobos. No, come on.
Absolutely not.
No, I
you
mean,
can't
like,
put those fucking
they're-
guys in there. Not to sound like not to sound like
Their
Donald
most popular
Trump.
song is a cover.
Yeah, not to sound like Donald Trump, but like we're not letting Los Lobos.
Are we letting Pseudo Echo in because they covered Funky Town?
The next band is the aforementioned Steve Miller.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
Sorry, Steve. The next band is, I'm actually surprised that he got nominated, but I guess it makes sense before 1990.
Yeah.
The 9 Inch Nails.
9 Inch Nails. Interesting. I'll say yes.
Yeah, I'm
I feel
definitely.
like,
I don't even have to think about it. Yes,
It's
definitely.
a solid 3-4, album 8-year run of pretty top-notch stuff.
What would you consider? Are they considered industrial or?
I guess. I mean,
Or
but I
goth?
think I feel like that they sort of
They
or gay
transcend
or Trent
the-
Reznor, it's sort of like a crossover. Like it's almost like
Yeah.
he took industrial and made it good rock out of it.
Yeah. The next band is the N, the W, and the A.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, they're probably just going to get guilted into it because
I think
of the movie.
Apparently, from what I heard, this is the 4th year they've been nominated, and the movie is a massive success.
Yeah.
Truth
Truth is, they have
those
4 good songs though. But of course they spawned a bunch of stuff. So it's sort of.
But just the people in it, Dr. Dre and
you sort of have to. Yeah.
Ice Cube and
MC Ren
and that dead midget.
That dead midget.
Next band, a little band called the Smiths.
Oh wow, I'm surprised they're not in already.
Yeah,
Absolutely, of course.
I think it's especially because the Smiths within that genre of
Yeah.
80s sort of alt music.
Yeah.
They're giants.
How many bands have probably been spawned by the Smiths? I mean, hundreds. Of good bands are probably they're responsible for it.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of 80s alternative or college bands,
Yeah.
At the top of my list, I think the Smiths, I think REM,
Yeah.
I think New Order, I think
Maybe
Gene Loves Jezebel.
Gene. Right Said Fred.
No, The Cure and
yeah.
Echo.
Yeah.
Right Said Fred. All right, the next band, the Spinners.
Spinners. Okay, I mean it's probably before my time, so I almost feel like that's like a given where it's okay, if people of that generation think it's important, it must be. So good luck.
I'm sure it's nice for you.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say yes
Good
just
on you,
because
though.
of their afros. They have an amazing afro game.
Oh my God, they all look exactly like the Temptations.
Yeah, the Spinners. And the last band on the ballot, it's a band called Yes. Do you say yes
Wow.
to Yes, or do you say no to Yes?
It's more of a struggle than I thought it would be because I recently sort of revisited Yes and it was maybe I'm missing something about Yes, maybe they have this whole and they have a few interesting songs. A lot of it is just unlistenable though. I want to say yes, but You know what? Like, it's got Green Day and the Chili Peppers in it, so of course they have to be in.
That's
like,
funny because I was going to say the exact same thing. Whereas, like, I have a soft spot for yes, so I was
Yeah.
going to say yes, regardless.
Good one.
But like when I was trying to think of the opposite and be like, okay, well, what is the argument for them not to get in?
Right.
Like my mind immediately went to the Chili Peppers are in, like Kiss is in,
Right.
Rush is in.
But I guess that's a bad argument because like it just cheapens the whole thing. So it's like it's like once the Chili Peppers are in, like the Katie bar the door. It's fucking like like anybody anybody with a guitar can
Right,
get
exactly.
in.
I mean, yeah, that's true. It's like I can't tell yes no if Kiss is already at the party.
Yeah, exactly. So, thanks for flying all the way from England, John Anderson, but we don't have any room because Flea is inside.
Flea's inside, like talking about how it's great to be sober. Yeah,
Great the Lakers are.
There. So
that's the other thing. I mean, like apart from the going back to sports for 1 second, like
how dare you?
apart from like the Patriots having a great sort of rub it in your face season, just having the Lakers be like a fucking garbage fire is great too, right?
Yeah, well, like, have you seen like some of the video of Kobe?
Like what just jacking it up every
terrible.
2 minutes?
Like it's like suddenly he doesn't know how to shoot or play basketball, and
also how never knew how to pass or like let other people have the shot. So
it's weird because Tom Brady's having such a good year, but like Kobe and Peyton Manning, like farther time has come,
right?
And
like,
he's exacting his pound of flesh.
Brett Favre is watching both of them, going, "Jesus, man, like, you save your dignity."
He's like, "That's uglier than my dick pic." Man, Jesus. All right, that's our music report. You want to take a break?
Sure.
I know we went long there. Let's take a break, come back, and wrap it up.
Cool.
This is SFBarkast at Grasslands. All right, and we are back at Grasslands.
At the Grasslands.
At the Grasslands on the event horizon between Chinatown and North Beach.
That's right. If you could step from Italy to China, this place would be located in Saudi Arabia.
Have you noticed that I know in New York City, Chinatown is right next to Little Italy.
Yeah.
And in San Francisco, Chinatown is right next to North Beach, which is the Italian section. So
let's
there's
put all the scummy people in one part.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, I'm saying that's what the horribly racist opinion of the time was.
Oh, you were doing a bit. Oh, yeah, I totally get it now. Yeah, because you never say things that you mean. So let's do bad Yelp. We haven't done bad Yelp reviews in a while, and our fans are clamoring for it. Andrew, did you play Lush on the jukebox? Mm-hmm. Good for you.
What can I say?
All right, so
having a shoegaze renaissance.
It's a little too late for film school. So, what is your first bad Yelp review of Grasslands?
All right, mine is what may be the drunkest Yelp review I've ever read. At least I have to assume that this person was completely tanked, just based on the way it's written.
Here's the thing, you're a nice person, so you are going to assume that this person is drunk, not just a flaming idiot. So, okay, go ahead.
All right, so Nestor N. of San Francisco.
Sounds dumb.
Nestor. He says, "Tonight this bar is dead. Hell, I shouldn't come here. Period. Only thing that I'm here because of the owner will. Period. This bartender, she is mean, rude, no customer service shit, why? Period. I always spend more than $30 to $50 on the jukebox. Period. She took the remote and low the volume. Down! Exclamation. Period. Biatch! Exclamation. Period. Everyone is living, and I'm also MF out of here."
Wow.
Everyone is living.
Either everyone's living?
Yeah, everyone is living, and I'm also MF out of here.
So either this is just an absolute disaster with the predictive text,
True.
or he's an idiot,
Right.
or he's drunk, or he's really into stream of consciousness and he's not into the punctuation or anything. He's like, he reads a lot of Cormac McCarthy and it's just like really, he's just like, hey, look, this I write the way I think and I think like an idiot.
Well, and here's the very last part of that stream of consciousness is hopefully the owner of this bar read this. Period. All caps, Merry Christmas.
At least he was polite.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? He chose to say Merry Christmas and not Happy Holidays. So
Yeah.
so he's not part of the war on Christmas.
So he's a good Christian soldier.
Exactly.
Mine comes to us from, oh my God, I actually had to fucking pick this because this person's name is Daplaya A.
Wait, Player A?
Daplayer.
So as if his first name is DePlayer and the last name is A.
Yeah,
right.
Daplaya A.
He sounds like a credible gentleman. What does he have to say?
I'm sure, I would like to know what Daplaya A has to say about this bar. He says, I'm a huge fan of Mr. Bing's. I remembered Grassland being more fun. I stumbled in there 10 years ago with my alcoholic roommate, and we rejoiced when the crazy Chinese barmaid insisted we buy her a drink too. Ha ha ha. Good times. No, that's me editorializing.
Right.
Fast forward to 2008. Yeah, this was written in 2008.
Right. Okay.
Fast forward to 2008. Having mistakenly gone to meet friends who were actually at Buddha Bar, I confronted a new scene. The Broadway cringers were now hanging in front.
The Broadway cringers.
Yeah, wasn't that a gang in the Warriors?
Yeah, I think they're West Side Story.
So the Broadway cringers were now hanging in front after being rousted or unable to lurk in front of third-rate strip bars due to construction. First off, I just want to interject here. All strip bars are third-rate strip bars. It's like, you know that top-tier strip bar, and then the ones that suck.
This is adorable because it's like this 2008 version of gentrification where it's like, man, the strip bars are under construction, so everyone's all the classy people are hanging out in the other bars now. It's like you have no idea what's about to come.
I go to strip bars. I just don't go to the shitty ones.
I go to second-rate ones. I can't afford the first-rate ones, obviously.
I'm not made of money. The last straw was some shady white trash loser in a football jersey telling me not to be scared and just come on in.
Boy, that guy sounds like a real asshole.
That does sound kind of shady. That's not either he's telling him to come on into the bar or come on into the back of a van.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and also, I mean, obviously, this person was doing something so obvious, where a drunk guy in front noticed how frightened they were. So you might want to tone down your negative attitude.
He's in addition, not to mention, no crazy bartender inviting me to buy, albeit one of the cheapest in the city, her a drink as a cover. I guess. So basically, he was saying back in the day there was a crazy Chinese barmaid who insisted he buy her a drink too. Good times. And now when he comes back, fast forward to 2008, no crazy bartender inviting me to buy her, albeit one of the cheapest drinks in the city, as a cover. And
so he's pissed that there was a white trash guy here, and he didn't get assaulted by the bartender.
He's like, look, I got taken in by some crazy bartender a long time ago, and I'm not buying this dude wearing a fucking New York Giants jersey a drink.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So he ends by saying, I'm a local who's seen the worst of both SF and Oakland, and don't give me some quote transplant bullshit. I have only ever gone to Grassland by mistake, and it continues to be one. 3 words: go to Bing's.
Wait a minute.
I have 3 words for you. Fuck you.
3 words for you. Suck it.
Here come 3 words for you. Shut the fuck up. On the heels of that, Andrew, what is your final analysis, Phil Giuano, of this bar, Grasslands?
Wow. It's a tough one because I feel like I feel like they did do a really good job of cleaning this place up, but I would probably be one of the people that didn't want it cleaned up. But like, at the same time, like, you have to. I mean, like, you're right next door to like probably one of the biggest tourist draws in the city in House of Nanking. So you've got like people waiting for tables, right?
That place
like,
sucks, by the way.
You know what? Yeah, I agree. Like, it's like totally overrated.
People like wait in line, and they're just like, oh yeah, I have to get House of Nanking, and it's just like, yeah, it's fine. It's not wait in line.
Exactly.
Fine.
Yeah. Like, but it's sort of good. Like, I think people don't say that because like it's nice to have a place to just funnel tourists. Like,
absolutely.
Where they won't fuck shit up. So like, but like, and so it does sort of make sense that like, you can't have like such an aggressively divey bar right next to like a big tourist attraction because you're kind of throwing money away. And so like by cleaning it up, like like they're definitely gonna make more money at it, and everything like that. But you know what, like I say, like they did a pretty great job of cleaning it up, and like it's the jukebox was cool, great internet jukebox, and like TVs are good, bartender's good. Like I can't really like find too much to hate about it.
Yeah. Let me start my review by saying, fuck that. And this place is great.
Yeah.
I feel like you're like saying like, it is what. You know what?
The dank.
I don't. Okay, maybe if I came to the old Grasslands and I missed it, I would be like,
I was only here
terrible.
like twice, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like the one time I was here was for that bachelor party, and let me tell you something, blacked out.
Right.
And that's the story I'm going with as far as the authorities are concerned. And so like now, like we walk in here, like in fact, like when you said let's go to Grasslands, I was just like, oh, what the fuck is that? And then I came down here and I was just like, oh, I kind of remember it, but I like it. It's great. Like the people here were great. The bartender's fantastic, and the jukebox is great. They let me play Foreigner.
Exactly. That's always a plus when you don't get arrested for playing Foreigner.
They have a full bar. I didn't even check if there's like Wi-Fi, but you know what? I'm pretty sure there's not.
Yeah, whatever.
But like, yeah, it's
you
like
always go to Doc's Lab across the street for Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's right in the heart of like North Beach in Chinatown. So
exactly,
like, I'm going to give it a big thumbs up.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm sure. I mean, we're here on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a fucking madhouse because it's a small bar.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a madhouse on Friday and Saturday night. But you know what? Fight through it.
Yeah. Don't be just an asshole.
Don't be a dick. All right, Andrew, do you have any plugs?
Let's see. Actually, like we didn't really do like a movies and TV segment, but I'll throw in a couple plugs for stuff that I've seen recently. The movie Love and Mercy about Brian Wilson. Like I like the music of Brian Wilson for the most part, and like I wasn't like totally jazzed to hear a bunch of Beach Boys songs, but
honestly, like when you told me it was a really good movie, and I was like, "What's it about?" Like Brian Wilson, I was like,
snooze.
Yeah, but then you told me like Paul Dano's in it.
Paul Dano's
like,
amazing.
I love
like,
Paul Dano.
Yeah, and actually John Cusack, who I don't normally think of as a great actor necessarily. He does. I mean, like he plays a really good, like sort of slightly mentally handicapped person. And and Giamatti's fucking great as sort of a scumbag, like
So Paul Giamatti plays a scumbag?
Well, he plays like the psychiatrist that sort of like took over Brian Wilson's career and like he signed like power of attorney over to him and everything.
How
and,
fucking,
like, he's like a nut.
What a weird year Paul Giamatti's having. Like he is in the NWA movie as like the record executive scumbag.
No, he's like every scumbag executive now. Like from Private Parts on, like his whole career is like basically playing like shitty bosses.
But the thing is, we all know that Paul Giamatti is a great actor. But just I think physically people are like, that guy could play a scumbag.
It's like, oh, that guy seems like a distasteful like authority figure. But like, and I guess the other things that I've seen are like the With Bob and David, the new sort of like Mr. Show.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet.
Just exactly what I wanted from it, I guess. I mean, like there's great stuff in it, like, and it's fun to have back. And like I'm gonna hold my opinion on a couple of other shows that I've watched just until I see the rest of them, I guess. But I guess the only other possible plugs that I would have would be a site I saw called Rumbler.com, where it's basically like you set up like random fights with people. which is fantastic.
Actually, I heard that's
It's a hoax.
It's a hoax. Yeah.
Ah, damn it. Oh well.
Yeah.
I was hoping we could get them as a sponsor.
Whoever like started the hoax would be like, yeah, how much do you need? $1 million? Sure, we'll be right there. What the fuck?
You know what? Like, I mean, the way that the economy like in San Francisco is now, like a hoax is probably as good as like being a $6 billion company at this point.
We should have a new segment where I'll tell you either a hoax
Or a $1 billion company.
or like some tech company, and you have to tell me if it's real or not.
Right, like or some company that just got funded, like, you know, with more than $1 million. Like, I bet like the list is ridiculous. Like it's it's Netflix, but for pieces of shit.
Yeah, it's toiletpaper.com.
What's so hard to understand about that? Give me my money.
So, do you have any other plugs?
No, You Shut Up started again on the Fusion Network with Paul F. Tompkins and a bunch of puppets, and it's really great.
It's hard for me to like warm up
show.
to it.
I know. You know what? Yeah, I'm the same way, but like
Puppets.
I like Paul F. Tompkins enough to.
Yeah, I love Paul F. Tompkins, but I think I like Paul F. Tompkins as much as I dislike puppets.
You know what? That's probably the same for me as well.
I had a friend, this comic, staying with me, and like for some reason we must have been like whacked out on absinthe or something because I don't know him that well, but we started talking about our greatest fears, and I was just, I forget what mine was. It's like the sun exploding or something like that. And his greatest fear was seeing puppets' legs. I was like, what?
I love that.
I was like, dude, what are you talking about? He's like, have you seen supposedly one of like the last Muppet movies?
Yeah.
All the posters showed like the puppet's legs, and he freaked out over it. I'm like, dude, you know people fly planes into buildings, right? There's like other things to be more freaked out about. Anyway, so my plugs, honestly, I don't have a whole lot of plugs this week. I saw. Ooh, what did I see? I saw something that was really good. Well, anyway, The Leftovers are really good.
I've dragged my feet on watching
Get
that.
into it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know what? It's a sort of burn me once situation because it's like the guy that did like Lost or whatever, and that was such a disappointing show.
Oh no, it's not. It's not J.J. Abrams.
No, it's Damon Lindelof. Like one of the. No, it was J.J. Abrams. I watched the shit out of it.
It's not. This is not the Soaring Eagle podcast. Is it Soaring Eagle?
No, Talking Bird.
Talking Bird.
Close enough.
What's it? The Dead Crow podcast.
It's the Old Crow whiskey podcast.
Yeah, I can't remember what the other movie is. Oh no, I saw the movie Home. Oh no, Room. With Brie Larson. It's really good.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, I thought you meant The Room.
Not The Room.
All right.
Room.
All right.
It's done by this Irish director, and it's really good. It takes a little while for it to get going, but once it does, it is fantastic.
Oh, nice.
And then I want to thank my sister and my brother-in-law, Jesse and Peter, for coming out here. And I always freak out when my family comes out here, just because
they're pretty agreeable though. Like you don't have to go out of your way with them.
Of all the people in my family, they're the only two I like.
Right.
Like, with apologies to everybody else in my family.
I mean, you were able to take them to go see Brett Gelman. So
they still talk about that.
It probably was a huge mental scar.
They're like, remember that terrible comedy show you took us to? I was like, yep.
You mean the one that secretly made you a better person that you don't even realize?
Yeah. So I had such a great time hanging out with the two of them when we were here.
Nice.
And I want to, I'm not going to plug, but good luck to Chris Garcia tonight.
Oh, yeah.
At the Punchline. He's recording his CD, and he's been staying with me the last few days. And it's been so much fun having Chris around.
Yeah, cool.
And I also want to give a good shout out to Megan and Rob from New York City.
Ooh.
Who were in this bar,
right.
And they came over and they asked, they're like, "What are you guys? Is that equipment is that attached to some sort of explosive vest you have?" Too soon. No, but they said Megan came over and said we were wondering what you guys were doing.
You unzipped your pants and you said, "Boom."
Well, it's a boom, Mike.
The explosive vest went off.
But apparently, like she said, I forget what her what she thought we were doing, but her husband Rob was correct. He said.
Those guys are wasting their time.
They're doing a podcast. I think he said those people are artists, honey. Don't disturb them.
Those people are avoiding real life.
Exactly. They're wasting their parents' money. They're like Academy of Art students.
Like the saddest trust fund, like non-trust fund people you've ever seen.
And that's it. Yeah. And I want to thank everybody. We're also. I know we didn't mention it. We're super excited to do Sketchfest this year.
You're super excited. No, I think it'll be great. Like, I can't wait to see who we invited at the last minute to be a guest.
Yeah. Should I tell people who you invited? First off, I want to let everybody
on Twitter. I invited.
Wait. I just want to let everybody know that when we got into Sketchfest, Andrew legitimately lost his mind, and he invited our old NYU student mate, M. Night Shyamalan.
I'm gonna do the honorable thing and blame my wife because she said like you guys should get Minogue on, and like I was probably just like yeah.
Did you hear back from him?
Like no, of course not. Like he's probably
he's dead to me then.
He's probably getting paid $15 million to direct some movie.
It's so weird because I was like, yeah, you know what, like maybe he would like there's a like a 0.5% chance that maybe he would like be drunk enough to decide to come out and do our podcast for the festival. And then I was like thinking, oh, I will have to really talk about how much I love his movies. And now that like he's like not going to do it, I'm like, fuck him.
He's like, oh, thank God I can tell the truth.
Now I can go back on the truth. All right.
Unless you want to come on, in which case I love all your work.
Unless you want to come on, then we'll cut all that out.
Exactly. We live to do whatever you like.
All right, we went a little long here, Andrew, so let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
We want to thank Grasslands for having us here.
Please, yes.
And this is SFBarkast. I'm Jeff Cleary.
I'm Andrew Lauder.
We'll see you next time.